So, what have you been doing in lockdown? You been okay?
It's been hard, mate. It's been very hard for me at the minute. Lockdown, obviously, the gym had to be shut down. So there's nothing for me to do. I'm normally a very busy man. I
Yeah,
only work from morning till 8, 9 at night most days.
really. Is
So
that in your gym?
that's at my gym. I'm busy in the gym, but since lockdown, I'm not having anything to do. So it's not been good for me. It's just been hard at the minute. Boredom more than anything.
Oh, I don't blame you, mate. It's not a lot to do, especially with every single gym locking down. Nobody can come and work out, can they?
Yeah.
No, so I want to take, if you don't mind, I want to take you like right back to the start. What made you want to get into boxing?
First started boxing years and years ago. We we first got involved when boxing. The Rocky films was out.
Yeah,
Me
oh,
and my
really?
brothers would. Yeah, the old story. Yeah, so we put boxing gloves on the back room, put a sheet down, pretend we had a ring, and that we'd knock holes out of each other.
Was that you and your
Uh,
brother?
yeah,
Wow.
that's how it originally started. But then we grew up we grew up on a couple of rough estates and that, and we moved house quite a lot. As youngsters, I was working out how many houses I lived in when we were younger, and up to this point, I think I've lived in about 20 different houses. You know what I mean? I'm only
Really?
35, so we moved quite a lot growing up.
So you like the new kids on the estate a lot?
Always the new kids on the estate, and me being the eldest brother as well. We used to have a lot of trouble, and
Yeah.
my dad had no nonsense. They grabbed me by the ear and made me go out and fight. So
Yeah, so you always had that fight in you. It wasn't just.
yeah. So that's that. She tried taking us to the gym, so we knew to look after ourselves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like started from there, stemmed from there.
Oh,
I remember breaking my arm when I was 14 as well. I had my cast on for 6 weeks, and then to strengthen up, I started going back to the gym, and that's when I started clubbing when I was 14.
oh,
So
okay.
we have been going up at that point.
So at that point, were you boxing just for fun, or was it something to keep you out of trouble?
Just for fun more than anything. It was one of the things that I did, and I just took to straight away, enjoyed straight away. I like the training, I like the sparring. I like the fact that what I found was in this day and age where people bark the loudest, they come across as the people that are the hardest. Where I was quite a quiet lad,
Yeah.
but if it come down to it, I could bite very hard. And it turned out I could fight very hard. So I didn't bark very loud, but a bit very hard. I like the fact there's no bullshit. When you was in the ring and the bell went, you had to have a fight with someone, and there was no fucking nonsense bullshit slagging. Didn't matter what fucking tracksuit you had on or what trainers you was wearing. The fact of the matter was, it was a man against a man or a boy against a boy back then, and whoever was the better man won the fight. And I like that. I like that for me. It was good, and I liked the fact there was no nonsense. And once the bell went, he was having a fight. I liked fighting. I was good at it. I had I had to put up with a lot of nonsense of fucking idiots growing up, so I had a lot of fucking anger inside me. So when that bell went, although I was a very, very placid lad, very, very nice lad, I like the fact that when the bell went, I could offload some of that anger on these people. And I like to punish people, and I was vicious and violent when I used to spar. And people in the gym would obviously be sparring going on a lot, but when I started sparring, the old gym would stop and turn around and watch me fight because I was good at what I did, and obviously I went on to do what I did, and I had talent for it.
Absolutely. So you say, all the gym would turn around and look at you sparring and think, wow, this kid's got it. When did you realise, you're quite special in boxing? When did you think you were going to make a career out of it?
The first fight I won by knockout, the second round. The second fight I got knocked out in the second round. I remember going around and speaking to my dad and all that, and everyone was laughing at me. Well, you want to be a boxer? And they're all laughing at me, and I thought, I'm going to prove every fucking one of you's wrong. What's motivation for me? that was motivation for me, and it was they threw fuel on the fire, and I would go to the gym and I would train like a psychopath, like a man possessed, and nothing would stop me from training hard. If someone was going a bit harder than me, I'd go harder than them. I'd make sure I went harder than them. And I used to think in my head, if I train harder than all yous, then you can't beat me. And it's the same thing. What I've said, I had this exact conversation with my lads yesterday in the gym. I said, if you're the fittest and you're the strongest, and you can punch harder for longer than your opponent, tell me how can your opponent beat you? And he can't. And that's the truth of the facts of the matter is, if you're fit, stronger, it don't matter about skill. If you punch harder for longer and faster, skill plays an important part of boxing. And don't let anyone say that it doesn't. But at a certain level, everyone's got a high level of skill. Everyone can fight. They can all throw punches and they can all avoid punches. It all comes. I genuinely believe it all comes down to fitness in the end. And I reckon the losses that I had on my record was due to my own fault, poor fitness levels. But I know how to win fights and I know how to lose fights, and that's what's going to be my knowledge as a trainer. What's going to be good as a trainer. I know how to make fighters win. I know how to make fighters lose. I know how fighters can fuck up their own careers themselves or their own training camps themselves. I'll be on them. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, mate. You know, so would you say that's the biggest strength then, training? You just put in the work more than anybody else?
Definitely.
Just how it is. Yeah. I think that's the same with like anything in life. And that you work harder than anybody else, you're going to go further.
Exactly, yeah. Boxing is dead simple. The more you put in, the more you get out. The harder you work, the harder you get. The better it is. I train alongside Scott Quigg and I train alongside Andy Colour. Two of the most dedicated fighters I ever trained alongside of. And you know what? Got the results they deserved. And boxing is dead simple and dead straightforward. The harder you work, the better the results you'll have. And if you put the work in, you get the results you deserve. And you can't take that away from fighters like that because no one works harder.
I think there's a certain amount of respect people have got to give you because were you 18 or 19 when you turned pro, made your first fight?
Yeah, 18 I turned over.
So you had to put all that pressure of, all that hard work, all that hard training when I imagine a lot of your mates going out doing all sorts.
Yeah. Times were different back then. But all my mates were at uni and stuff like that, and it was all out on the piss. It was all out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, student nights and stuff like that, and I couldn't go out. I'd have to live in the gym. I'd have a fight and then have 2 weeks off or a week off. I'd binge in my 2 weeks off because I think I've got to get enough partying done until I go back to training. And I was dead busy for my first couple of years. I think I had 6 fights in my first year, 7 fights in my second year, 5 fights in my third year. So by the time I was 21, I had 16 pro fights. I won my first title, but I was busy. So I was always in training. And it was good for me because an active fighter is a good fighter. It's as I got to British title levels where I was having 1 fight, I was having 6-month break.
Yeah.
I was having a fight, and I was having another 6 months out of the ring. That's not good for someone like me. I need to live in the gym. The only reason what will keep me in the gym is having fights and stuff like that.
Something to work towards.
Again, another lesson to be learned. So I've got a manager's license and stuff like that. And so if I get into that side of boxing, it'll all be about keeping the fighters busy, keeping them active. Busy fighters are good fighter.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So obviously your career was spectacular, to say the least. You had 31 wins on the bench. Explain that to me, because that was one of the longest unbeaten streaks, wasn't it, at the time?
Yeah, it was the longest streak of active professionals at the time. But it was just a job for me, and it was getting to the point where I was like, I kept getting promised world titles after one more win, you get a world title shot. One more win, you get a world title shot. I kept getting promised world titles, and I kept getting disappointed every fight that he had. Would be another British title defense, another European title defense. I think the biggest problem with my career is I spent too long battling good domestic fighters, winning, but I needed a challenge, and I was winning them fights that easy. It was becoming less of a challenge for me. So I started cutting corners in training. I needed someone that put fear in me and make me feel like I was going to get beat. And I didn't have that for a long time towards the back end of my career.
Yeah.
The fear had gone. I knew I could turn up, and sometimes I'd turn up after being on the piss and still win fights.
Yeah.
So I was lacking that little bit of fear. And someone like me, I need to be scared. And if I'm winning fights and I'm going on the piss and before and I'm still winning fights, then that fear starts getting less and less. I start feeling like I can do this, taking the piss. I can still have them nights out. And win fights. But again, this all good lessons. So my failures as a fighter will become my strengths as a trainer. I don't doubt it.
Absolutely, mate. You know, it's sort of hard hearing you say that because your career was really good. I mean, you had a career that a lot of fighters would dream for. Not a lot of people get a. Well, obviously, you fought in Las Vegas twice, then you fought Madison Square Garden. We'll obviously come on to that in a bit. But you had a good career, mate. You know, you won the British title outright. That's pretty special.
Lots of good things about my career, but I also have lots of bad things about my career. So I've been 31 fights undefeated. And I was looking at fighters below me that had 15 fights, and I have a thing that he's driving a Mercedes. How comes I'm driving a 9-year-old Greenfield Punto? How comes I still owe this much money out to this guy, this much money out to this guy, this much money? So I I wasn't managed correctly. I wasn't looked after. I had a very, very good management under Steve Wood. Joe Gallagher's my trainer. He had massive, massive issues with Steve Wood, caused them two to split up. I think I was on $3 a fight at the time. And then because of all the fucking bollocks and that, Joe Gallagher, don't get wrong, he's learned a lot through my career, which has helped make him the trainer he is today, and helped make him the manager he has become today. But to learn your lessons, you have to make mistakes. So he made a lot of mistakes in my career, a lot of mistakes looking after me. It cost me a hell of a lot of money. So you think 31 fights undefeated, that kid's probably got a few quid in the bank. Maybe got an house bought outright, but I didn't. I remember still being in debt. You know what I mean?
Why weren't you getting paid the same as, like you say, fighters with less fights?
What's that, sorry?
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't understand completely because I wasn't a manager back then. I just left. I just wanted to concentrate on fighting. I don't think I got paid what I should have been getting paid. It could have been something to Joe. I don't know. I know Joe was very, very disliked in boxing. And I understand the reasons why he was disliked in boxing. Joe was a very, very good trainer. He wasn't a good manager, and he managed me very, very poorly. As he did my brother Joe, but he's learned the mistakes he had to make. Maybe he's a better manager. He's been through what he had to go through. He's learned what he's losing at our expense, at cost of maybe our careers, but it is what it is, and that's where we're up to.
I know, mate. Obviously, like I mentioned, you've fought some pretty special places, haven't you? Like it was MGM Grand a couple of times. How do those conversations go? How do you find out? Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be fighting the Las Vegas, on the undercard of Oscar De La Hoya.
Joe Gallagher drilled into me from being a very young age. You have to live in the gym. You have to be fit. You have to be ready. He learned it down at Champs Camp, Phil Martin's School of Boxing. That you had to be fit. You had to be ready. That phone call went. You had to be ready to take the fight. And we did a good job. I lived in the gym, and I was always ready to fight. I've boxed in Florida in front of 14,000 on Jeff Lacey, Robin Reed on the card. I boxed on the De La Hoya Mayweather undercard, and I topped the bill the night before Ricky Hatton boxed Floyd Mayweather in Vegas. I boxed at the MGM Madison Square Garden in front of 22,000 people for the world title against Brandon Rios. I had some massive, massive nights and massive, massive memories, and I was always fit. I was always ready. My advice to any young kid being in the game is to always be fit and to always be ready and always be ready to take a fight. And I was always ready to take a fight. I was always up for having a fight. It was my job. So my state of mind was, if I don't turn up, if I don't take a fight, I'm a shit house. And what's the point of being in this game and saying you want to be the best in the world if you're scared to set fights certain people? And that's probably where fighters need looking after, saving for themselves. Joe Gallagher did a good job with that. Certain fights he would like to avoid. If that fight's not quite right for me, and rightly so, because certain styles make fights. So that fighter might be able to beat you, but someone that's beat him, you might be able to beat him. So you fight the one that's beat him, and then that way you don't have to fight that kid. You probably got a style that can probably beat you. So it's boxing's one of them games, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
You Young Boxer of the Year, though, was it 2006?
What's that? Sorry.
Didn't you get the Young Boxer of the Year?
Yeah, we did. What year was that? 2006, was it? 2007?
Yeah. If my research is right.
Yeah, 2006 sounds about right, yeah. I'm not saying 2006.
You look at the names who'd won it before. A lot of good names, mate. You're in good crowd.
Yeah, I don't think they couldn't not give it me. You know what I mean? I thought maybe a year before. I think Kevin Mitchell won it the year before me. Yeah, we thought I might have won it then. And the next year, we got it, but they could not give it me. I was fighting everybody. I was fighting good names. I was winning well. And
Who else was around at the time? What other fighters were hot at the time?
Yeah, it was Kevin Mitchell won it the year before me. We thought we should have won that year, but we got it the next year. He had to give me a because of what I was doing. But when I turned pro, I only had 24 amateur fights. I didn't have no big promoter backing me and nothing like that. I was fighting on small shows. I was fighting in rooms with 200 people in. And sometimes I find decent names as well. Building a name for me, fighting for £1,000 or something like that. But it wasn't about the money. I didn't give a fuck about the money. That's what to fight, prove my name, become number one. I had a good career. I'll prove it in the end.
Absolutely, mate. So, like you mentioned, obviously Kevin Mitchell won the Young Boxer of the Year before yourself. That was a fight that didn't exactly go to plan, did it? You're looking at
anniversary today. I keep getting tagged in it.
Oh, is it the anniversary today?
I think so, yeah.
Mate,
yeah.
Chances. No, but that obviously you were 31 fights defeated, weren't you? So, can you tell me a bit about that?
Top fight, good fight. I had my own issues going into the fight. And me and Joe weren't talking. We had fallouts before the fight. What it was is Joe was training Macklin for his world title fight against Sturm. So because Joe was so obsessed with getting his world title, he completely just took his eye off the ball with me and just left me to it. I'd always done it my whole career. I'd train myself and look at something for myself. So I said, Joe, number 2, 8 bag right through. I go and knock him out. And he knew he didn't have to watch me. I was going to do it. But he took his eye off the ball. We weren't getting any good sparring in. He wouldn't turn up to sparring sessions. He wasn't asked because he was too busy counting how many punches Macklin was throwing in the bag rather than watch my sparring and stuff like that. So I ended up snapping on him in camp. And it'd be like, we're going to track in the morning, do our sprints. Like, it's a big part of my training was my fitness. And when we start missing track sessions and stuff like that, it's a massive hit for me. And there's only so many weeks hard training you can do. And if you've missed a couple of them track sessions, all of a sudden your fitness suffers massively. So it'd be like, oh, Macklin don't want to go track today. He wants to have a rest. He's having a rest day, so we're going to cancel track today. And I'm like, yeah, but what about me? What about my big fight? I think then we went to the Sturm fight in Germany. And I think Joe, I paid for Paul Truscott to come over with us. I paid for all our hotels and blah, blah, blah. And I give Truscott a wage on top of it. And then me and Truscott be sparring, and Joe Gallagher wasn't turning up to our fucking sparring session. So I thought, do you know what? If he doesn't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck. So Macklin was over there. I got on with loads of them, and they all went on a massive session after the Macklin fight, and I fucking got right involved, which which is because I thought, fuck it, if he's not arsed, I'm not arsed, and that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that was. Do you reckon that was what it was? Just falling out. Was that the end between you and Joe Gallagher after that fight?
was at that point? Was at that point because I lost to Mitchell, and then I wasn't happy with the training camp before the Mitchell fight, and I've lost my first fight, and I thought, fuck this. People told me to left Joe my whole career. Joe's a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah.
People begged me to leave him, but I was loyal. I was dead loyal. I'd never leave him. I said, I can't leave Joe because I'm being with him. And that cost me a lot of money. I think when I decided to stay with Joe Gallagher over Steve Woods, I think I got an $8,000 bill off Steve. I got an $8,000 bill off NSA. And I got an $8,000 bill off the solicitor that done the work. So I got a $24,000 bill. I think around about that point, I was only fucking making $3-4 grand a fight. And I just got a fucking $24,000 bill. So for the next 2 or 3 years of my career, I was just paying off this bill. Don't get wrong, Joe was still taking his 10%, even though the reason I got this bill was because of him. He said, "Oh, I need my 10%." He didn't want to pay 10% of the bill with me. You know what I mean? He looked after himself, which of course he's going to do anyway. But
do you think that's an issue with trainers now? Because I think he trains a lot of fighters, doesn't he? Obviously trains Callum Smith and his brothers. There's a few people under him. Is that an issue? Do you think they should probably train a few less?
No, Joe's got his own setup there now. He's full-time boxing trainer. He ain't got any work. I think back then when he's trained me, he'd work night times 9 at night till 6 in the morning. So I had to work around him, and his night shifts at the airport on that. So
okay,
I was a full-time boxer, so I'd work around him. It wasn't a problem for me. He worked very, very hard. And he was very, very dedicated. But he sacrificed a lot of things with his dedication.
Yeah. So you think if you'd have had that dedication, you might have gone a bit higher? Might not have lost that Mitchell fight?
It is what it is, man. Kevin was very, very, very good. And I know Kevin.
Yeah, he's a top fighter, isn't he, mate? He was one of the
top fighter, but he had a top camp. And I've said this to him before. Said maybe it wouldn't have mattered what kind of shape I was in that day because Kevin was he was unbeatable that night. He was very, very good. And he come in and he had a chip on his shoulder and a point to prove. And when someone's in that frame of mind where they've got that bit between the teeth, I had it a few times in my career, and I know no matter what the opponent brought, I won't get him beat. And that day with Kevin, it was just one of them things. I remember walking to the ring thinking, I fucking need to get up for this fight. I need to get up for it. As soon as I walked out, I was like, it's like I was walking to a sparring session. Couldn't get up for it. Couldn't psych myself up. Trying to whack myself. Trying to get my adrenaline pumping. Nothing was working. But the reason why nothing was working was because I knew I hadn't put the sacrifice in the camp. It's a big, big important part of the way I used to fight. So when I sacrificed eating the foods I liked, getting up at 5 in the morning, doing my runs, living like a monk, sacrificing all my nights out, because I like going on the piss. I was a young boy, you know what I mean? I like going out in town and that, and having a laugh with the lads. But when I sacrificed all that, I used to get very, very, very angry and very, very violent. So I would personally hold the person that I'm fighting responsible. I'd say, it's your fault that I've missed all these top nights out with the boys. It's your fault that I've not been able to eat doner kebabs and McDonald's every day. It's your fault. So I would literally go in there and I'd have a look in my face, and then you could see the look in my eyes. I was very, very angry, and I looked like I wanted to hurt him because I did want to hurt him, because I held them fully responsible, and I was vicious and I was violent and I wanted to do a job. When I had an easy camp, I used to hate my track sessions, but when I used to have to ask, don't bother turning up the track, I'll do it, stuff like that. That would make me less angry. I'd go out there, I'd be more chilled out. I'd struggle to find that bit extra what helps you win fights. I struggle to find it, and hence I lost the fights.
Yeah, I understand, mate. Would you have said you were at the top of your game at that point, and the loss, did it affect you mentally, the loss?
No.
Were you just straight on to the next when you thought, right, take it on the chin?
I knew why I lost. I wouldn't I didn't think, oh, fucking hell, I've been beat now and thought I was indestructible. I never had that feeling. I always went into fights knowing you could be knocked out, you can be dropped body shots, you can, anything can happen. It's a fight at the end of the day. I never went in there thinking I was invincible. Although you would create the persona of someone that was fearless and invincible. Intimidation is a big, big part of boxing. So I'd walk in the ring and I'd prowl around like a lion, like a caged lion about to be released. And I'd intimidate my opponent. I'd look him in the eyes. I'd go back and forward. You've heard Mike Tyson talk about intimidation. I think I was very, very good at intimidating as well. And prowling. And little things. I remember sparring Gomez once. And he heard Gomez like grunting and stuff like that. It scared me to death. I was only a young boy.
Yeah.
But I remember how that made me feel. Then I get into a fight with someone and try and roll around me. I'd be grunting and making like growling noises as part of my intimidation. I bet they thought, fucking hell, this guy's not wired up right. He's not fucking right in the head, this kid. He starts making them fucking think, no, can I beat this kid? Am I able to beat him? He's not fucking wired up right, you know what I mean? It's just all that persona, but it's all a big part of boxing. It's all about getting in people's heads. Mentally, I'm very, very strong. I don't, even now, after being on the piss, after finished boxing, being on the piss, doing what I wanted for years, I still think I can give any fighter in the world a fucking go. I mean, maybe over the course of 4 rounds, 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe not 12 rounds. But
So if you had a call today, you'd be right on it. Say you're gonna go fight.
someone said, John, I've got a fight for you. We know you're out of shape, but we'll give you 16 weeks. I'll fight anyone in the world. And I'm not even joking.
How would you fancy yourself against Lomachenko and them sorts? That's what I'm saying. If you had a call, right, you got Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis, who they've offered you.
I'll fight anyone in the world. And you know what? I think just because I like to fight.
Fantastic, mate. So that's the perfect attitude, though. You've got to get in there and you've got to give it. It's the same with anything as well in life. You've got to put in just 10%. You take it on the chin when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, man.
But this is what interests me about your career. So you obviously fought Kevin Mitchell, really good fight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't get the win, but straight after you had Will title shot, didn't you? How did that come about? Because that amazes me.
Yeah, because I think Mitchell had problems with his visa going to America, so the fight got offered to me, which obviously I accepted. For me, it was a massive chance to fucking put right what just went wrong. I had to take the chance and I was fucking bang up for it. I'd left Joe Gallagher. I started training under my manager, Mike Madison. But I trained a couple of weeks with him, and me going into the biggest fight of my life, the chance to win a fight, I didn't want to go in there with all new things. Maybe if me and Mike had a few chances to have a couple of run-outs, see how I felt. I wasn't happy changing everything going into the fight, so I picked up the phone, went, Joe, blah, blah. I put to bed our differences, and I offered him the fight, which we took. We get to New York. I can't remember the weight. Rios was heavy. He's overweight when he's big.
I think I looked it up. He was something like 2 pounds over or something. I think I can't remember.
He was big. He was overweight, and he was fucking. He had an hour to go, mate. Weight come back heavy than the first time.
Did you get worried at that point when they said, "Oh, Rios is heavy"? Did you think, "Oh, the title's not going to be on the line here"? Was that a worry for you?
I made weight in it, so the title could be on the line for me, but he couldn't win it. He had to lose it. But I looked at him and I just thought, he looks like a fucking dead man. He looks dead. He had nothing in him. And I thought, he's fucking, no matter what he does tomorrow, he's not going to be able to beat me in this fight. And I was in much better shape for the Ross fight than I was for the Mitchell fight. I was strong, I remember. Although me and Joe only had a 6-week training camp for the Rios fight, I was in decent nick. Had some of the best performances of my career. I did short camps, 3, 4, 6 weeks usually. Yeah. Knuckle down for 6 weeks, I knuckle down for 6 weeks. I did everything I was supposed to do. sort of felt fucking strong. I felt good going into the fight, and I was up for it. He come in a bit overweight on the night of the fight, though. He was 12 stone, and I was fucking 10 stone 10, and I was massive at lightweight. I was a massive, strong lightweight, and then he was a good 18 pounds heavier than me. And I thought, fucking hell, man, what's he done? He got a bike pump and pumped him up, and he fucking looked like a middleweight across the room for me. But you know what? I thought, fuck it, we're having toe to toe. And me and Rios went toe to toe for 11 rounds. In the end, it was a fucking right hand. He caught me over the top with big. Rios a big puncher, but I looked at him on the scales. I thought he's gonna fade as the rounds go on, but he just didn't fade. He kept coming. I couldn't rock him. Couldn't get him out of there. And I don't know, man. I just fucking maybe it's my own fucking ego, but I don't know. But I just thought that was my night, and I should have won the world title that night. But for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And I think it was the next fight after that. Rios knocked out Alvarez, and then the fight after that, I boxed Pacquiao, and he failed the drug test. I don't know if that's the truth, but undefeated fighters don't just start taking drugs when they're boxing Manny Pacquiao. And he's always going to have that black line over his name. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of he's only 2 fights after me. He's failed his drug test. He's undefeated. Why has he failed the drug test? And I just feel my heart I should have won that world title that night. That was my destiny, and I just feel like I've been robbed of it. But no one's ever going to admit nothing, and nothing can ever be proven. That's something you got to wipe your mouth, stick it on the chin, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Did you think you cheated then? Did you think that was, how heavy it was, you thought?
I don't know. I looked at him on the scales, and he looked like a corpse. I looked at him in the ring the next day, and he was 12 stone. I thought, how the fuck do you get from being that big to that big overnight? I don't know. I don't know nothing about drugs because it's not something I've ever done, so I don't really know how it works. I know that high level boxing, it must be fucking, it's massive. It must be massive because you know why? Because promoters and fighters, the way I look at it is a fighter is a business asset or a commodity for a business. So if a promoter can pay off a few different kids and make sure that his business asset keeps on winning and that money keeps rolling in, then it must be. I don't know. I'm not saying it is because I don't know, but from an outsider looking from the inside and from being at quite a high level, I've just got a feeling. I don't know. I've seen fighters go from being not that great and all of a sudden they're fucking knocking out fighters weights above them. I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Manny Pacquiao's a big one, isn't he? Was he fight at flyweight?
Yeah, he's gone. I think he went from about flyweight to didn't he fight a light middle?
Middle.
So I think it's like he's 8 weights he's fought at.
It's impossible.
I know my point was. Even now, mate, you look at like Canelo. Canelo's literally gone from a light welterweight to a light heavyweight, and how much weight difference is there? It's
right.
Makes it right. And Canelo's one who's failed the drugs test before.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So, like, it's not just about the promoters, the fighter. So, let's say they're fighting in Las Vegas. They want the Canelo fight in Las Vegas. So, it's not just them. Because the city of Las Vegas every time a Pacquiao fights or a Canelo fights or someone like that, it's massive revenue, not just for the fighters, not for the promoters. The whole fucking city is milking it. It's massive dough. All the hotels get booked and sold out. All the money spent in the casinos and blah blah. It's all big money. You think them people traveling over to watch the fight, they're spending $1,000, $2,000 in that 4 or 5 days. It's all big money in it.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I know. Are you good friends with Ricky Hatton? Because obviously, like you said, you fought.
We spoke a few. That's why I sparred him the week before he fought well boxed Mayweather. We had three spars, 6-round Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Good little knock around, good. Enjoy sparring him. Decent.
I mean, because he's somebody who obviously made an awful lot of money from boxing. What do you think it was different? Let's be fair, because you had both you and Ricky had long and beaten runs. So why was it different?
when Ricky started coming out, he was all emotional banner rip for Andy Farnell, Michael Gomez, Ricky Hatton. He was three fighters about the same time. There's a few others, Steve Foster Jr. There was a few all out at the same time, all Manchester fighters, all boxing on the same bills. So they're all big ticket sellers. They're all selling out the Emian Arena. So then all of a sudden Rick Hatton boxing, but not only has he got his fans going to watch him, he's got all like the Farnell fans watching him, he's got all Gomez's fans watching him, he's got all Steve Foster fans watching him, and then they all become fans of Rick Hatton. That's the thing, Rick Hatton is putting shows on his own without having to have these kids on the undercard because they've become fans. They've watched Ricky fight, and they've liked the way he fights, and he was just a perfect storm. It's good promotional work from Frank Warren. He's done work. He built it up the right way, and he got Ricky to the level he was at. He got a massive following. Ricky said the right things on camera. He come across a nice kid and that, and all worked out well for everyone. Everyone made loads of money. Good.
No, were you a fan of his? Obviously, at the same sort of time you were.
Yeah, massive fan. I used to look up to Ricky Hatton growing up. I was a big Michael Gomez fan. A big Ricky Hatton fan. Got his shot, so I was youngish, 15, 16 at the time when he was topping Emian Arena and that. And I'd watch things he did in fights, and I'd go back to the gym and I'd work on my body shots and stuff like that. Or I'd look at Gomez's left uppercut and go, "Boom, I want to throw that." You know what I mean? And a big part of being a good fighter and learning is watching fighters you like and going in the gym and you doing the same sort of things. And that's exactly how I was. I watched good fighters. I go back to the gym and I practice things that I learned. So Joe Gallagher was a great conditioner. He did a lot of fitness work. That's all I needed. I did all my own work, technique wise, and my technique massively underrated. I was a very, very, very skillful fighter, very, very good on inside, very good at shortening the distance from long range to short range, good feet. I'm very, very intelligent the way I used to work fighters out. So it's a thinking game. You have to think. You have to look at what they're doing. You have to set little traps. And I can work all this out on my own. I just need to be fit. That's my biggest problem. Make sure I'm fit and strong.
Yeah. So, you obviously said, you thought you thought you were going to win your world title, and it didn't happen. After that, you're out the ring for 2 years. Wasn't there something about a brain scan? What happened?
Yeah, smudged brain scan. Yeah. You said I had a problem with pituitary gland, controls your hormones and that. So I had to go through tests and loads of scans and blah, blah, blah. In the end, the doctors say, "John, we can't find nothing wrong with you. We think what's happened is the brain scan, what we had done, it looks like it might have just been a smudge or something because it's like there's nothing wrong with you. It looks like never ever been anything wrong with you." But the problem with what it caused is it kept me out of the ring for 2 years in the prime of my career.
So that's what I'm saying, mate. You literally, you went from fighting Madison Square Garden for the world title to then, what was it, a year later, weren't you working on the roads or something?
I was working on the road a year later, yeah.
That's
and this is another thing I understand. Like, people think it's all massive money. Like, I used to look at people like Barnell Gomez and blah blah. I used to think these guys are going to be millionaires. And then once I lived it myself, I just think, you know what? You're not. Fighters aren't, and there's nothing in place to out fighters. So from where I'm from, and that when you start doing well, you've seen Shameless and that people fucking break the leg and a finger, they get $4 grand compensation. Everyone gets a party for the week, and that's kind of thing what I was living like. I was getting fights, making decent money, and then I just fucking would pay for everyone to do everything. I would have a buzz. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't thinking long term. When you're a kid, you've got nothing in place. You just sort of think it's never going to end. I never thought it was going to end. And looking back now, so many mistakes were made in my career, my life. But every mistake made is a lesson learner. And you can't deny the fact that I've got a lot of life experience for a 35-year-old man. So hopefully I can pass that experience on to people below me. Fight as a dream with children growing up.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So, like you say, how serious about you with your training? You obviously got your own gym. How far do you want to go? Do you want to try and get a few pros, take them up?
Yeah, start off. I've got a nice little amateur team. I'm building up the amateurs through the amateurs at the moment. I've got this thing about if I want to do it, it has to be my school, and I'm not about one of them kids that's you get a lot of them hang around amateur shows, hang around England amateur boxing shows, top class professionals, and they're just hanging around, snidey, whispering in people's ears and that, and I just think it's snidey. And it's if I want to do it, I want to do it myself. I don't want to be one of them kids that takes a decent kid. Someone's done 10 years worth of work for his kid for the amateurs, and then they get hold of this good kid, he turns him pro, and then they're taking all the glory for his top kid. I just think it's snidey as fuck. So if I want to do it, I'm going to do it on my own, and I think you get more respect when you do it that way, because there's a lot of these wormy type people in boxing. It's dead weird boxing, right? Because you're mixing with some of the hardest men in the country, hardest men on the planet, right? And these kids can fight, and the proper good, genuine, down the way kids. Just as many good kids as there is in boxing. There's just as many snidey, wormy type kids, and I mean the wormy. You know the type of kid we're talking about. He sits in a pub. You can see that kid's a worm. You don't know how you know he's a worm. No, sleazy and wormy. And there's loads of him in boxing. I mean, they fucking make loads and loads of money out of it. I don't know how to do it. But they fucking get whispered down people's ears and they do a good job and fucking somehow do what out of it. But I'm determined to never become that type of kid. I never will become that type of kid.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I completely agree with you. I spoke to a coach down in Southampton called Steve Barnes, and he trains amateurs, and he's trying to get into pro game, I think, but he's seen so many like good fighters over the years being taken up and turned into journeymen just for the sake of making a bit of money for promoters and stuff. It's wrong, isn't it? It's wrong.
Yeah, it's shit.
Have you got any good amateurs? Are they all, got any one that
There's got a couple of good kids come through, yeah, doing well. With the corona at the minute, gyms happen to be shut down, but we're just easing back into it now, doing little bits, and I'm excited to get that going again. Look for the big year this year. Get me head down, work on with the kids. I've got a couple of kids that are just getting around about 20, 21, so get them in the ABA, see how they get on. I might look at turning them over by the end of the year. Just this corona thing at the minute just paused where I'm up to, but I'm looking for the big year this year.
Class, mate. So obviously dipping a little bit back into your career, you then, after your 2 years out, you came back, had a couple of wins, and you didn't you fight Anthony Crawler, who you said, good friend of yours, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, boxed Crawler. I fancied the Crawler fight. It's dead weird, right? Because I boxed Simpson the fight before Crawler. And I think if I went into the Crawler fight the same way that I went into the Simpson fight, I'd have won the fight. Because I boxed Simpson and I trained hard for the Simpson fight, the Crawler fight, I can't remember how long it was after the Simpson fight. It might have been like 14 weeks or something. So I didn't want to stay at the peak level of fitness I was at for that long. So I just took my foot off the gas and I was like, I don't really want to do this sprint session today. And I just took my foot off the gas a little bit. No, souls didn't overcook it, but it just didn't fucking work out. I just felt like there was something missing. Just something wasn't quite right going into the Crawler fight. On the night of the Crawler fight, my head just wasn't there for some reason. And it was another one of them examples where, as I was coming out to the ring and I was trying to get up for the fight, I just walked out and it's like I was walking for a sparring session. I think it's the lack of fear going into the fight, and Crawler wasn't the name he was now back then. And I had no fear going into the fight. I had sparred Crawler loads down the gym and that, and I dealt with him quite comfortably. And obviously, I've been out of the ring for 2 years, and he's come on a bit further. But I had no fear going into the colour fight, and I don't know. It just didn't work out. Won my night that night, but you know, that's off to him. He's done well, and he's gone on to do well after that as well. So good for him.
That's, I mean, I think a couple of fights later he fought Perez both times, and then obviously won the world title. So do you reckon him fighting you may have put him on that path then to go on to fight for the title?
Yeah, it's definitely it's like it's coming out party, isn't it? And he got the win over me, and he took it up to another level because I was favourite going into the fight, and it was a good win for him. You know what I mean? He had the fear of God. He'd sparred me going into the fight, and he knew how good I was, and what happened in the sparring session. So obviously, it makes you train harder when you're scared to death, and he was obviously fucking well for the fight. And I wasn't.
How different is sparring to like fighting on the night? Do you see all these different fighters nowadays saying, "Oh, I did him up in sparring, I battered him in sparring," but then you come, they don't fight. I mean, look at like Amir Khan, Kell Brook, perfect example of that. They're always going back and forth about fighting. What's the difference? Like, how does it make a difference?
I don't know, sparring, and fighting. Difference is you haven't got head guards, you haven't got the big gloves on, you've got little knuckle dusters on. Let me explain something about the gloves and the wraps in boxing. By the time you're gloved up and wrapped up in boxing, so if you put a little pair of 8-ounce gloves on while it's fight, you press that against your face, you can feel your knuckles through the glove. Very, very, very brutal. You wrap it with a cast. The cast is it's like you could punch a brick wall with your wraps on. It's like plaster in Paris. It's fucking solid as a brick. It's all built to keep your hand in place. You can't break your hands. Only I've cut my wraps off. They've been like purple balloons in your hands, but it's built so your hand can't break apart. It's just gonna stay in the same place. So you can go 12 rounds punching the fuck out of someone without breaking your hand because your head, your skull is a thick bone. So it's like you punching a brick wall for 12 rounds. You can push your hand up. So you need the wraps on. You squeeze it into your glove, your little 8-ounce gloves. I would say by the time I've got my wrap on and my glove on, I would say that was more dangerous than me fighting someone with a bare knuckle.
Yeah.
I personally think so, yeah. Because it's like a fucking sledgehammer. And it's solid and it hurts. These pros and cons in it for what they think's worse than that. But me personally, I believe that by the time your hands are wrapped and in gloves, it's fucking dangerous, like hammers.
Really? Because is that the reason why then trainers from the opposite fighter come and watch your hands being wrapped? I've always wondered.
Yeah, you want to watch your hands getting wrapped. There's certain rules with wrapping hands, so you can't put bandage, then tape, then bandage. So you got to call layering. You're not allowed to do that. So they just watch for little things like that. Make sure you're not breaking the rules. Sometimes they send people who haven't got a clue about wrapping, so what's the point? But you just think, if you send someone in, then you're not gonna be dodgy with your wraps. He's never dodgy with our wraps, but it's a big highlight fight anyway.
Yeah. So obviously then after the Crawler fight, you didn't fight again. Was that just due to, what was that down to? Was that down to you not feeling yourself as a fighter, or?
No, fucking. After the Crawler fight, I did attach right in my right eye. This one. I'm blind my right eye now. I can't fight anymore. Why still we fighting now?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we learn something new every day.
So that's like should be something I should have figured out on my research. I've done myself in there.
Yeah, but you know what? It's not been a big fucking song and dance made up about it. You know what I mean? So, boxing, I've given a lot to my boxing. I've cost me a right eye. Sometimes you give more than what you get back, and that's basically how I felt with boxing. I give a lot to boxing. I give a lot of my health to it. I give some exciting nights and that. By the time it's all done and dusted, I think after the Crawler fight, I set my gym up. I set my business up. But the money after the Crawler fight was gone after 6 months. So I got 6 months out of boxing to enjoy my retirement, you know what I mean? And then that was that. And this is what I'm saying, there needs to be more financial advice and some, I think Now I'm older and wiser, I just look back and I think, fucking hell, man. Every time I was having a fight, I could have been buying a house, or I could be buying a buy to let, and I could have. I had 10 title fights with 10 big money fights on a trot, and I could have had 10 houses by the end of boxing, all being not bought right, but I could be making a bit of money off each of them. And there's just nothing in place. There's no financial advice for them. It's like, yeah, you've done a fight, blah blah blah. That's it. You go, man, off you go. You need. I think there needs to be something put in place for young kids. It just too much money and not enough sense with it all. I mean,
So what made you want to start up the gym then?
I'm investing in boxing. I've done boxing since I was 14. So, although I did well at school, I decided to make the decision that I was going to be a boxer. I made the decision at 16. That's hence why I turned pro at 18. So, because I've made this decision, any other decision of my life, let's say, for instance, I think, fuck it, I'm going to be a plumber. I started trying to be a plumber at 16. I would never be a boxer because I decided to be a plumber. So there's that many top kids I've trained alongside them, and they could have been top fighters, but for whatever reason they've done this, that, or the other, and they've gone away. So boxing is one of them. It's like there is a lot of good kids in it, but boxing loses so many good fighters over the years. So many good fighters that would have done well. The reason he lost them is because people become men, discover booze and women, and they go the other way. It's the ones that can get through that thingy, get through having to get a job and blah blah blah, and still come out the other side. I was very very focused and I knew exactly what to do. I was had a single mindset about what I was going to do, and nothing was changing the way what I was going to do, and I did what I did.
I respect you for that, mate. You know, there's not a lot of people that can put their head down like that.
Yeah, I think you have to have that mindset though.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously a bit off topic from your career, but the lightweight, you're obviously a lightweight, weren't you? Lightweights at the minute is probably what welterweights were 10 years ago. You know, you look at the names at the minute, you know, Lomachenko, Davis, Luke Campbell, all of them. Who do you think's the best? Because it's quite competitive now.
Luke Campbell, top fighter. Yeah, big respect to him. He's doing really well. I like what Davis and Lomachenko fight. It's got good contrast of styles. Davis is on the up and coming. I don't know if he's just going to avoid Lomachenko, let Lomachenko's knock on their call to do. I'd like to see him fight. Whether they do or whether they don't, it's another thing to see. But top division. And I think boxing needs to become a little bit more like UFC. Because when UFC fighters are getting to a good level, they go, right, that's the best, and that's the best time to the best that's getting in. And I think it needs to be a little bit less bullshit and it's a bit more fucking making the matches happen. Obviously, this is the problem with boxing is I've already touched on the subject already. So when a fighter's good, he's a commodity for the business. So the fighter himself, business, unless he gets big enough where he can set up his own promotions and blah blah blah, he is an asset for the business he's working for. So the promoter will protect his business asset for as long as he can, because every time that fighter wins, he knows that he's going to get a next payday off his asset. Once that fighter starts getting beat, then the commodity for that business is then lost. And because there's different promoters and different top fighters for different promoters, he don't want to risk losing his asset, and he don't want to risk losing his asset. Hence, why sometimes the top fighters avoid being made. But UFC, I think UFC is just one governing body in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the UFC, Dana White, so they don't mind putting the best in against the best, because the best against the best, it don't matter who loses, because they're all part of the UFC, they all can be brought back, and it don't matter who wins or loses, because they're both from part of the same business. So don't, you know what I mean? Don't really matter. But that's probably what boxing's lacking. If nothing can be done about it, to try and make.
That's the issue with having multiple world champions, because obviously in the UFC, like each weight class has only got one champion. You know, in boxing, there's like four. in there. There's four, well, at least four.
It's too far gone because they can't. They're never ever going to start saying, right, that's not that you can't be world boxing champion anymore. That governing body has to go. That governing body has to go. Nothing can be done. The Ring magazine is a belt, and they've only got one, haven't they?
Yeah.
But it's too many governing bodies. It's too far gone now, and it's too much money being made off each finger. Too many promoters. He'll never go back to one world champion. It can't happen.
Do you think the UFC may, in a couple of years, overtake boxing because of that? You know, the fact that big fights aren't happening.
No, I don't think anything will ever overtake boxing. Boxing's always been boxing, and the problem people have got about like boxing and UFC, boxers don't like the fact that people I've watched UFC in the face, and although I've got massive respect for them, there's something about when they're rolling around on the floor and they're sniffing each other's underpants. It don't do nothing for me. It makes me, you know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
That is exactly what I see when I see two people rolling around the floor. I find it very, very sexual, and it don't do nothing for me. Although, don't get wrong, I don't doubt for a second if I was in that position, they'd twist me up and break my arm or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying how I look at it. For me, looking at it, it just doesn't. I don't like the look of it. It makes me cringe. It makes me feel awful. Yeah, where boxing is something about two people standing up, punching fuck out of each other. I like it. It's good. I'm not into this grappling. I don't like it. It's not for me. I understand the science behind it. I understand the technique behind it, but it's not for me. It's not for everyone. Yeah, I'm one of them. That's why I'm never boxing unless to make them stand up and have a fight.
It's great, mate. No, I think that's pretty much it. Final question I've got for you. You obviously said you made mistakes in and out of the ring during your career. What would you have changed? What would be, if you were to go back to the start of your career, what would you have changed?
I won't change anything. I'm happy with all the mistakes I've made, all the right things I made. I'm happy with where I'm up to in life. I won't change anything. I'm happy where I'm up to.
I respect that. All right, John, thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate the time.
Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.